So let's take a look at what would happen if meiosis 1 was normal, but in meiosis 2, we had non-disjunction. So the tetrads split apart correctly, but when we got to meiosis 2, the sister chromatid, which may be parental or they may be recombinant, if they didn't separate correctly. Well, then what we see is, again, some abnormal gametes. Now, not every gamete is abnormal. The ones over here are fine, but these ones have either too much DNA or not enough. These will both be pretty serious cases. So this is a really quite simple diagram type. It's called a karyotype. So basically, this is like if we were to take all of your chromosomes and place them all into a picture. What would it look like? Well, you don't really need to know how to actually isolate the chromosomes. What I do want you to understand is how to look at this picture. This is a very helpful picture to understand what's in your cells. So in every single cell of your body, you have 23 pair, every somatic cell, you have 23 pair of chromosomes. So this is pair number 1, pair number 2, pair number 3. And in every pair, you have a chromosome from mom and a chromosome from dad. Chromosome from mom, chromosome from dad. Now in your cell, they would never line up like this. This is just how we can place them so that we can study them and look at them and understand them together. Remember, a homologous pair means that this one's from your mom and this one's from your dad, okay? They have the same types of information at the same loci, but they have different exact information. So a karyotype is just the name of this picture, right? Like if we said pie graph, you know what a pie graph looks like. This is a karyotype. It's a picture that shows all of your chromosomes lined up with their homologous partner. Now, this is a good question. It says, how would the karyotype of a human female differ from a male? Well, in a human female, there would be 2 X chromosomes. But we know that this is a male because there's an X and a Y. So there's a disease that occurs with some people. It's called Down syndrome, and it's very serious. And Down syndrome is caused by trisomy 21, which means you have 3 number 21 chromosomes. So instead of having 2 of each type, you have 3 of this one. And if you have 3 of this one, it can give you a pretty serious disease called Down syndrome. And people with Down syndrome, they can still live happy lives, but their lives are very difficult because they're both physically and mentally handicapped. And basically, as the age of the mother increases, the chance of having Down syndrome gets higher and higher and higher. There's also something that can happen with the sex chromosomes very rarely, where the sex chromosomes have non-disjunction. They don't separate correctly. So you could end up with a man that has 2 X chromosomes, or even a female that has 3 X chromosomes. For a man with 2 X chromosomes, there can be some health conditions, but for a female with 3 X chromosomes, they can live a pretty normal life. And each of these cases has a specific name. So Klinefelter is when a man has 2 X's, and this could lead him to be sterile where he can't have babies, and it could also cause him to be a little bit more feminine than a normal male. Normal male can have 1 or 2 Y chromosomes. Some people argue that there's no symptoms for this, but some people argue that men with 2 Y chromosomes are more aggressive. A normal female could have 3 X chromosomes, but they might be taller than average. And if a female has an X chromosome and no other chromosome, this is called Turner syndrome, and it could also make her sterile.